Hi, everybody. Deborah Morris with Deborah Morris Home Team, Keller Williams Advantage Realty. I have the honor of talking to Stacy Luna with Atlantic Bay Mortgage again today. One of the questions that we keep coming up a lot are with the rates going up is, oh, are they getting too expensive? And I just wanted to pull in our mortgage advisor I trust to kind of get you in the right perspective on what is going on right now and the fact that it is still a super time to buy. So Stacy, take over.
Thanks, Deb. This is a great question, and I feel that a lot of people are really sitting on the fence right now trying to figure this out, right? Mm-hmm. It's a tough situation in Central Florida. We may be unique in that we have 1,000 people moving here on a daily basis. I would say that probably half of the business that we're seeing right now is coming from people moving in from out of state, which is making it really tough for those of us who have been living in Florida, even those trying to buy our first home. So as it pertains to rentals, the interesting thing, and it's not interesting if you're a renter right now, is that the rents have gone up dramatically over the last few years, right? And we're not seeing that stop. In fact, I hate to say this, but currently there are giant investors, and I mean giant investors, and there are builders that are actually creating entire subdivisions of rental properties. And that is going to do nothing but control the rental market even more, right? So I would tell you right now that it is definitely not the time to rent. This is the time to get off the fence to buy something. Even with the rates in the high 4s to mid 5s right now, these are still amazing rates. I mean, we've been completely spoiled, and some of it artificially spoiled is what I call it, because during COVID and just prior to COVID, you know, we came out of this giant quagmire back in after the crash, and then we were in such a long regrouping. We felt like we were in a 10-year recession. I mean, it was just insane. So rates have been kept artificially low for quite some time. You know, then of course we had COVID, that didn't help things. And then, you know, the government has tried to control this for so long, and you really just can't do that. Things have to kind of unravel where they are, right? So I'd like
the interest rates are back to right now to what they were right before COVID. Back in the early 2020s, we're right about where we were back then. Is that true?
I would say it's pretty close, maybe a little bit higher. The issue we're having right now is that rates have literally gone up over 2% in a matter of 4 months. That's significant. So if we talked to you last fall, what you qualified for last fall may not be the same as what you qualify today for. And if you do qualify, your payment's still going to be more.
Can I get an example from you on an average line of about 400,000 and just compare what you see right now?
Yeah, let me
for a better perspective.
Yeah, I would love to. Let me show you that. So if can you share my screen, Deb? Perfect. Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, so here's a great example of a $400,000 purchase price versus renting. So a lot of people don't get in the game of home ownership because they don't understand how little you need to put into the pot, so to speak, to get into the game, right? And we're actually teaching a lot of financial literacy courses this month to students in the high school level, and showing them really how easy it is, because there's a lot of people out there that still believe you need 20% down to buy a home. And that simply is not the case. We can show you for some individuals who are veterans or people in the military or people looking to purchase on the outskirts of the metro area, you can actually buy a home with 0 down payment. But for the everyday Joe who doesn't want to live outside of, you know, the city or close to work, or who is not a veteran or doesn't have that benefit, you can actually buy for 3% down as a first-time home buyer. So it is very inexpensive. That 3% really is almost identical to what it would cost you in a lot of places for rent as a down payment. So if you have to pay your first month's rent, another month's security, and then possibly another deposit, you're almost right there to purchasing your own home. But here's a great example. If you look at the cost of, in this first column here, it says buying year one. So this is when you buy the property. Here is a breakdown of your monthly payment. So we're estimating that the monthly expense payment on a home of about $400,000 is about $25.92. And I believe that my, this is showing you with the 10% down payment, okay? So it's a $360,000 mortgage. Now, that doesn't mean you can't buy with less. You absolutely can. But it's going to show you that over this 9-year period, which is for the graph over here, shows you the blue and the purple graph. If you look at this graph over the 9 years, it'll cost you basically in monthly payments $282,000, right? That's what it's going to cost you to live there. If we rent the first year, perhaps on a $400,000 house, and I would kind of beg to differ on this one a little bit. I think this is actually cheap. Actually, I gave you the wrong one here. This is actually, yeah, but so let's just say, for example, it is $1,900. So your payments, right? The benefit of renting is if something goes wrong, I call the landlord, right? That is a benefit. And it's no long-term commitment, but
rental prices go up every year.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, nobody is renting a $400,000 house in Orlando area for $2,000 a month. It is much more than that. It is probably a minimum of $2,500 to $3,000. Okay, maybe $3,500. In fact, what this shows you though is the appreciation in rents, and this is actually at a very modest, I believe, 3% increase each year. That rent will go from $1,900 to $2,600. So at the end of the 9 years, in the purple down here, it basically says the total cash flow on this, it costs you $247,000 to live there. And my biggest issue with this is at the end of the day, what do you have? You have nothing. You just essentially flushed $247,000 down the toilet, right?
Insurance mortgage, yep.
You've made the landlord wealthy, right? So it's basically saying though, well, that being said, some people will say, yeah, but it didn't cost me $282,000. So I'm ahead by $35,000, which is the cash flow difference. Well, that's true, except for the fact that because I bought this house right over here at the $400,000, if I decided right now that I wanted to sell it, that house is now more than likely worth about almost $580,000. And that's with normal appreciation. Not the craziness we've seen over the last 2 years, right? This is very normal appreciation. So that appreciation gain of 180,000, if I literally, took out everything that it cost me, I mean, look at how much gain you have, $161,000 in gain, right? So it doesn't, renting is a great short-term solution. If you are just graduated from high school and you're going to get your first job and you really get going and you've got to rent somewhere because you don't have money saved or whatever, it's a great solution. But if you're going to look at long term, renting is never the way to go for yourself. It's a way to go to make everyone else wealthy. And I try to tell people, I'm like, look, make yourself wealthy. And then what you do, once you decide, you don't have to buy the Taj Mahal on the first house that you buy, right? It doesn't have to be a $400,000 house. It could be a simple 2-bedroom condo, for example, for $250,000 or something. Buy that property and then make the smart decision to create your own personal wealth by holding that and then buying something next for you to move into, right?
I'll tell you what, how can they reach out to you to talk more? Because you just gave us a lot of information.
Yeah, this is a big topic, and I really hope people are listening to it. Couple ways. Number one, reach out to me at 407-832-3729. 407-832-3729. That's my cell. You can text me or call me. Also, you can reach me at stacyluna.com. That's www.stacyLuna.com. In addition, if you're seeing this before May 3rd, we are hosting a great event, and you can find us on our Facebook page or on LinkedIn or on Instagram. We are going to be going into how to build wealth through real estate on that Zoom meeting.
Well, this is a lot of information, and I know a lot of you that are listening to also think, well, I can't buy because. Well, reach out to us. Stacy's here as one of my dependable lenders, and Chuck and I are here to talk to you as well, 321-348-0014. So please subscribe to the YouTube channel, reach out to us as your dependable resources, and let us help you find out what the options are for you to benefit you and your family. Thank you so much, Stacy. And I look forward to getting another word of wisdom from you in the future. Have a great day.
Thank you for having me. Bye-bye.